do today? How you doing? With all the Demoman talk going on lately on the forums, Reddit, Spoof, probably Team Fortress TV. I haven't checked yet. I figured, hey, I might as well chime in. I've got this fancy smartphone. I've got a YouTube account. Might as well, use them. One argument that was brought up to me on Reddit by somebody whose name I don't recall, because who reads the names on Reddit unless you're gonna screen cap it and post it on Tumblr or some shit. But there's a point where it's only the Demoman can really do enough damage to make an impact on the game as a whole. If you took out the sticky bombs the way that was recently done, it goes into a situation of stalemate because everybody has counters. And that's good. To an extent, that's very good. But when you mash two whole teams together, then everybody's countering everybody else and nothing happens. Only the Demoman can really, with his ridiculous damage and splash radius, can actually make something happen. And that's needed. That's needed in any competitive game. You need to be able to reward doing something. All the other classes, yeah, they have their counters, they have their situations, and that's good. But they can't really make something happen. They're on a micro scale. They've got their uses. Only the Demoman, being ridiculously overpowered relative to everybody else, can actually, be on a macro scale, can actually be effective. I'm not saying that, and brought to everybody else sucks or nothing like that, but no, the demo was a center of charges because he could actually take out a lot of people. He could make something big happen very quickly. So one thing I was thinking with all this, maybe nerf, what kind of alternate nerf to do to the sticky bomb, what kind of buff, this, that, and the other thing is, something that hit me is, don't alter the Demoman at all. What you gotta do is, you gotta nerf the engineer. And that's gonna need some explanation. I said that cryptically for a purpose, to get your attention. But what you gotta do here, in order to keep that effectiveness of the sticky bomb launcher and allow for some dynamism, allow for some counters, is to make the short circuit a little bit worse. See, what I did on my server, I got a mod server going on where the short circuit does no damage whatsoever, and it reduces the engineer's health by 25. So you're very important. Everything else is the same, the rapid fire, the low metal cost, all that's still there. But you're running around, you're helpless and vulnerable. You can't do any damage to anybody, and you are the most fragile thing on the battlefield. Even if you had a gunslinger, you'd only be at a standard 125. And if you're doing a level 3, it makes sense because you can put that in new locations and all that and let it do all the damage for you. You're running around with 100. So as soon as you're gone, then the Demoman becomes good again. It becomes godlike again. But until that point, you become the engineer are the MVP. So it would allow for some changes. And another thing I did was they removed the melee restriction on the buffalo steak sandwich. So that would allow for an alternative there. So if you don't want to push with the Demoman, you can push with the heavy. And another thing, with mini crits, no damage fall off because they're mini crits. You throw an Uber on top of that, you got a fast super heavy for a couple seconds. That's an alternative. It mixes things up, and the short circuit can't stop that. So that's my take on the situation, because the ability to absolutely wreck by somebody needs to be able to do it. And as it stands, only the demo has that ability. So if we're going to bounce around that, I would say do the short circuit, and in order to make sure that somebody still has it, because having to protect a medic and an NG at the same time, it's just not fun. What you do is buff heavy. So that's my situation. That's my idea. That's what I'm testing on my server. Link will be in the description. And yeah, it's where I'm at, and it's one thing I would also do, I guess, would just while I've got your attention, remove the nerf to arm time on the Scottish Resistance, and give it the damage ramp up, though not as extreme as what they did. Actually, maybe as extreme, slightly less extreme. Like I heard to like 30 points of sticky. Make it like 50 points of sticky, 40 points of sticky from the Scottish Resistance. Now, and if I knew how to, the fuck is you? If I knew how to code that damage ramp up, I would do it overnight. Well, not overnight because tonight's a work night, but I would do it and see what happens. But yeah. So nerf the short circuit, buff the buffalo steak sandwich, and buff the Scottish Resistance. Those are my three suggestions that I'm going to test because I'm a programmer and I know how to do that. But yeah, I really think people are going about this situation all wrong. Yeah, that's about it. See you.